from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. Hyannis has made their first road trip of the day, set for their second battle of the day with the Falmouth Commodores. And did it feel like we were just on the air with you? Well, probably because we were. Brendan Howe alongside Lyle Goldstein here with you in Falmouth. Lyle set for game number 2 today. Well, Falmouth took the first game by a score of 9-5. Hyannis' offense put up 5 in one frame. Meanwhile, the Commodores, who have been winners of 12 of their last 13 now, if you count game 1 of the doubleheader, they've really been on some type of tear. And back at home here at Gov Fuller Field.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody hotter in the Cape League right now than Falmouth. We said it back on the first broadcast. Nobody's been hotter in the last 20 years or so than Falmouth's been. 12 of their last 13. They just had an 11-game winning streak snapped. And they're already looking to build off of what was a 9-5 win in game 1. And I mean, the offense was pretty well represented throughout the board in game 1. They scored in all but the 3rd and the 7th inning. They had multi-run innings in the 2nd, a multi-run inning in the 5th, and they looked to come home to a place in Gov Fuller Field where they fared very, very well this season. 12-6-1 at home, and they're really, really playing good baseball down the stretch. So we'll see what they have in store here from the latter half of a home-and-home doubleheader. Boy, it has been some weird type of day.
It really, really has, and we'll get into that over the course of the broadcast tonight. But John Gassman will send starter Kyle Murphy to the hill. That'll be in just a moment. Falmouth getting set to take the field here at home. And John Gassman sends out a lineup for game 2 that looks like this. Jordan Westberg leads off and plays shortstop. Ian Farrell will follow him, who had a big game in game 1. He's at first. Hunter Goodman out in right. Jared DeSantelo doing the cleanup duties. He's the DH. Trevor Hover in left. Jackson Olsen over at third. Adam Hackenberg behind the dish in the number 7 spot. And Rowdy Jordan in center with Anthony Servideo at second, rounding out the 9 in the order. They'll be going up against an all-star for this Falmouth ball club in Logan Hoffman, the starter from Northwestern State. He'll be making his 10th appearance on the Cape this summer and his first start. And the starter in game 1 for these Falmouth Commodores, Sam Weatherly, had the exact same line, 9 appearances and making his first start. That was in game 1. He was phenomenal. He went 3 scoreless in game 1. But for Hoffman, coming into tonight with a 3-0 record, a 2.02 ERA. He's really kept the damage to a minimum. He's worked 13 in the 3rd innings on his summer so far, struck out 20 while walking 7. Given up 6 hits as the Commodores emerge from the first base dugout. They're taking the field as we speak. Jordan Westberg just standing just off to our left in front of the fence, loosening up in the on-deck areas. Logan Hoffman takes the hill. Hoffman, of course, having himself a very, very strong summer, guarded himself all-star caliber nods. Hoffman, the right-hander, towing the rubber and getting some warm-up tosses into his catcher, Troy Clonch. Falmouth set for their 40th contest of the season. Meanwhile, for Hyannis, this is game number 42. 2 more to come, both against the Windy Red Sox on Tuesday and Wednesday to wrap up their summer. Falmouth trying to continue a hot stretch into the postseason. And if they can take this one at home from Gov Fuller, they'll lock themselves up the number 1 seed.
Coaches or team representatives will not be tolerated in our
So again, Westberg, Fair, and Goodman, the 3 to hit.
For sales and rentals of
first pitch here from Gov Fuller just moments away. Slight wind blowing across the ballpark. Lights not yet on. There is still some daylight left. Some sparse clouds scattered throughout left field and over the batter's eye in center. But overall, it's been a beautiful day for baseball. Both games will be fit in no problem here tonight. Some crowd still filing in from down the right field line. Bleachers about 3/4 of the way full behind the Falmouth dugout. And after a 12 o'clock start, these two teams set for another 7-inning nightcap.
Like to extend a warm Commodores welcome to the Inn on the Square. Thank you for
Hoffman finishes up his warm-up tosses on top of the hill as Jordan Westberg adjusts the batting gloves as he strides up to the batter's box.
The Harbor Hawks, the shortstop from Mississippi State University, number
so
31.
Westberg led off for Hyannis back in game 1. He launched a 3-run homer and also picked up a single. 2 for 3 day with the walk in game 1. Trying to set the tone for the orange and blue early here in game 2. The Mississippi State product into the box from the right side. First pitch from Hoffman, but time is called before first pitch. Ball had trickled onto the field of play from the Falmouth bullpen. Now we're set for baseball. Hoffman back to the top of the rubber. He'll wind and fire out of the windup. First pitch. Fastball good for a strike, 0-1. We're underway. First pitch, 6:04 p.m. Eastern time here from Gov Fuller. Hyannis flipping from the home white jerseys and pinstripes to the blue jerseys with orange lettering and numbering. And of course, the same blue pinstripe pants. As a breaking ball tailed outside to Westburg, count even at 1-1. All-star Logan Hoffman coming off an appearance July the 25th against the Orleans Firebirds. Spikes a breaking ball here to Westburg, 2-1. In that game, a 6-1 victory for the Commodores. Of course, part of their 11-game winning streak when they just kept ripping off W's left and right. Hoffman worked an inning in that contest. 1-1 on 2 hits, struck out a man as well. 2-1. Westburg started to go around, but a called strike at the knees by home plate umpire John Petula. So Falmouth has taken 3 contests, the last 3, as a matter of fact, in the season series over Hyannis, with a 9-5 win in Game 1. Hoffman set for a 2-2 pitch on the way. Foul tip back off the mask of the catcher, Clonch. John Petula will walk out a new baseball about halfway out to the mound, as he'll meet Hoffman, who comes off the mound to give Clonch some time to recuperate behind the dish. So Jordan Westburg trying to start off Hyannis on the right foot here in Game 2 on the road. Hyannis comes in 7-32-2. They picked up a point last night over the Wareham Gatemen. They sit at 16 on the summer, last place in the Western Division, playing on borrowed time for the rest of the way. 2-2 from Hoffman. Breaking ball flying into the shallow grass in right field. Back to second baseman Talbot. He'll make the play. Out number 1. So just some soft contact induced by Jordan Westburg, able to pop one up onto the shallow outfield grass. Tim Tala, who came in as a defensive replacement in Game 1 for him, and Trell makes the grab for the first out of the ball game. I'll bring you in there. And Fair stepped in. He blasted his first long ball of the summer in Game 1 back in the 5th inning. First pitch from Hoffman, fastball, pop up right side. That'll get out of play over the crowd.
Fans are not permitted in the police parking lot. Please do not attempt to
Fair, the Northeastern Huskies continues to put together a very, very strong campaign in his second stint with the Orange and Blue this summer. Hoffman winds, fires in 0-1. Breaking ball. That's dropped in knee high for a strike, 0-2. 76 on the gun according to the scoreboard here at Gov Fuller. Hoffman working quickly. 0-2. Another breaking ball just inside. Trying to pick out the same exact spot on the inner half of the plate, but Fair stays alive. Gives a hard take on an inside breaking ball from Hoffman. And he's racked up 20 of those punch-outs. In a good spot on 1 and 2 as he comes home. Breaking ball, Fair taps it foul to the backstop. So a ball and 2 strikes to Fair. Hunter Goodman, the hitter on deck. Batting in the number 3 spot just as he did in Game 1. Hoffman from the first base side of the rubber pitch. Fair swings, sends it foul again, out of play. Well, Al, we talked about it's been a wild and wacky ride for us today, but you can only imagine what it's like for these players to have to get to the field, play one game for 7 innings, pack up, get on a bus, take an hour bus ride, get here and do it all over again. Hoffman into his motion, 1-2. Fair sends a short jumper down the third baseline, and that'll be fouled just off the plate.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. And there's been doubleheaders this year, but certainly hasn't been any home-and-home doubleheaders. As for Hyannis, I mean, they get to the field around 11 for Game 1. So, I mean, they didn't take BP or infield, outfield, so a little bit less time in that regard. They still have to play a full 7 innings, then get on a bus, come all the way to and play a second.
So Hoffman working quickly. Next 1-2 pitch. Fair sends that one on the ground to third. Third baseman Cruz has got it. Fires across the diamond in plenty of time over to Moretto to get Fair for out number 2.
Now batting the right fielder.
So a 5-3 put out for Logan Hoffman. Puts 2 outs up on the scoreboard for Hunter Goodman. He'll step in from the right side. And the drive from McKeon Park, where Game 1 took place, to here at Gov Fuller Field, where we reside now, just under an hour. But when you're taking a bus loaded with equipment, it takes a little bit longer. First pitch to Goodman. Breaking ball. Hoffman off the Memphis Tiger. Some action already going in the Falmouth pen down the right field line. Hoffman a very quick pace. already ready for an 0-1. Goodman swings and chops one to short. In a couple steps comes Kendall. Low throw, and it's going to get past the first baseman Moretto to the wall and foul ground. Goodman's going to hit the bag at first. He'll walk up to second. Hyannis puts him in scoring position off the error from Kevin Kendall. Kendall saw some time in game one. Played shortstop and batted ninth. It was a routine ground ball out to him at short that looked like it probably could have ended the inning, but a low throw. Moretto went down to a split to try and corral it, but skipped past the glove to the wall and foul ground.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to rush the throw a little bit. It was just a high chopper to him. Fielded on a couple hops. Goodman doesn't have blazing speed down the line, but Kevin Kendall just rushing the throw a little bit, and it couldn't be dug out by Steven Moretto at first.
That'll give FAU Al Jared DeSantolo a chance. DeSantolo playing game one, came in as a pinch hitter in game two of the Wareham doubleheader yesterday. And hit one of two back-to-back home runs. DeSantolo and Trevor Hauver combining for those. Fastball low from Hoffman, 1 ball, no strikes. And today, once again for Hyannis, Jordan Westberg and Ian Fair going back-to-back for the second day in a row. DeSantolo takes his cuts from the left side. Staring down Hoffman on the hill, count of 1-0. The pitch. Fastball, trying to paint the outside black, couldn't do it. DeSantolo works himself ahead, 2 balls, no strikes, with Goodman down in scoring position at second and 2 away. Jared comes into play with a .288 clip. 30 hits and 104 at bats. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and at one time for Jared was at the top of the leaderboard, but has struggled a bit as of late, coming back down to earth a little bit. Hoffman gives a look to Goodman, now comes home. Fastball, pop up, left side, back out of play over us. 2 balls and a strike to count to Jared as he steps out and adjusts the gloves. Hoffman looking to strand Hunter Goodman in scoring position and get his Commodore bats to the plate. They've been cooking off Hyannis pitching today. Hoffman a long pause as he gets a sign from Troy Klotch behind the dish. Comes set at the belt, now the 2-1. Breaking ball inside. Sandalo taking a quick step back in the box. The FAU Owls perhaps in position for a free pass, and we saw a handful of those in game one, Lyle, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Patrick Fredrickson had a handful of them, and then starter Sam Weatherly had a handful of them. That's why that game kind of dragged out in game one, all the free passes.
The 3-1 to Jared. Fastball, DeSantolo puts it in the air to left center, falling fast and in for a base hit. Goodman around third. He's going to get the wave home. No throw to the plate for the shortstop, Kevin Kendall. And Hyannis is on the board 1-0 early. An RBI single for Jared DeSantolo. That's his 11th of the summer. And it gets the Harbor Hawks out in front from Gov Fuller.
Number 10, Trevor Hauver.
And DeSantolo has just been so good all season at staying the other way and just flipping the ball out into left field. He does the same thing right there. Good line drive, falls out in front of Austin Maisel. So DeSantolo picks up that 11th RBI. And that's going to be an unearned run, however, for Logan Hoffman as the Kevin Kendall error put Goodman aboard.
So no damage done to the ERA of Hoffman as Trevor Hauver steps in. Looks at a breaking ball low. Klotch lost it between the legs for a moment, but no advance for DeSantolo at first. So for Trevor Hauver, back in game one, 0 for 2 with a walk. Did reach base once, came into the day a .239 hitter. Hoffman, a couple checks to first, now the pitch, a blooper into short right, and that's going to fall over the head of Tim Tower, a base hit. That'll push DeSantolo up 90 feet. He's to second base.
Now batting the third base.
3 straight hits for Hyannis here in the first inning.
Number 9, Jackson.
And that'll bring up Jackson Olsen. So Hyannis trying to mount a little rally here in Logan Hoffman with 2 outs in the first. They've already pushed across 1. And Trevor Hauver extending the inning for the time being, at least for Jackson Olsen, who steps in a .236 average. Third straight hitter coming in from the left side for Hyannis against the righty Hoffman. Logan set, lifts the leg, fires from the stretch. Breaking ball, good for a strike down Main Street. And Hoffman hasn't been rattled that often. It's been hard to piece him up over the course of the summer. Just 1 earned run 3 separate times, no more than that. Comes home with an unwanted Olsen. Breaking ball resides just below the zone. The ball in a strike to count with Adam Hackenberg loosening up on deck. This sporting the leg guards in the on-deck areas. There are 2 down. Hoffman trying to wiggle out of a miniature Hyannis threat. Looks to second, now comes home. Fastball swing and a miss from Olsen. Count moves to 1-2 in favor of the righty on the hill. The most hits that Hoffman has ever allowed in an appearance was 2. That came in his most recent outing, July the 25th against Orleans. Well, Hyannis has already gotten that number. 1-2 comes into Olsen, down and in with a breaking ball. Matter of fact, it's been 3 actually. A double from Goodman and back-to-back singles from DeSantolo and Haver. So a new season high in hits allowed for Hoffman on the mound. Of course, hasn't made a start, so that perhaps has something to do with it. The count 2-2 pitch. Olsen swings, sends one in the air to center, sending Dunn back toward the wall a little bit, but he'll make the catch with plenty of room, and that'll end the inning. But Hyannis puts together 3 straight hits in the first inning. They push a run across on the RBI single from Jared DeSantolo. 1-0 here from Gov Fuller Field, with the Falmouth Commodores coming up for their first cuts on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Falmouth to the plate for action in the bottom of the first. Chad Gassman turns to Northeastern product Kyle Murphy on the hill, making his 3rd start of the summer, 10th appearance overall. He'll face Tim Tawa, Blake Dunn, and Zach DeLoach here in the bottom of the first inning. Right-hander Northeastern winds and fires. Fastball chopped down the third baseline, foul to start the inning. Tawa, Dunn, and DeLoach will be followed by Trey Cruz in the cleanup spot. Troy Klotch behind the dish. Darren Radcliffe out in right. Stephen Moretto over at first. Kevin Kendall, the shortstop, and Austin Mazel rounds out the 9 and left. A 1 from Murphy. That one's laced foul. Look out. Down the right field line over the Commodore dugout. That becomes a souvenir, but that one will certainly wake up some spectators over there. Count 0-2 to the leadoff man, Tawa. Tawa put a double on the board in a pinch hit appearance after being a defensive replacement. That was back in game 1. Murphy into the windup, kicks and deals. Fastball high. Ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Tawa. And for Murphy, a record of 1-2, a 7.65 ERA. 20 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts to 9 walks, and 27 hits given up along the way. 1-2 to Tawa. Breaking ball just misses off the outer edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's nobody on, nobody out. Murphy shakes off a couple of signs from Hackenberg. Into the windup, pitch just outside. That fills the count up 3-2. And if you have to find a silver lining in a doubleheader like this, a strange one as it is, Murphy into the windup payoff delivery. In there, strike three call. He got him with a fastball. Tim Towa down for out number one. First strikeout for Murphy on the board. That'll bring in Blake Dunn.
From Western Michigan University, number
If you have to find a silver lining, Lyle, between these two games, it is probably the couple of hours the players got to at least rest and recharge a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you get a couple hours in between you're right. That's the one benefit is instead of just playing 40 minutes after game one, you get a few hours to rest and recuperate.
Dunn into the box. First pitch, fastball, good for a strike. Some of the players got to go into the locker room, take a quick shower, head out for some lunch before making the trip back to McKeon Park to get on the bus and come here to Gov Fuller. 0-1. Weak wave and a miss from Blake Dunn and a breaking ball down and away. No balls and two strikes to Dunn. Murphy's already worked one punch out to Tim Towa. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, make it two back to back. Murphy with a hot start to his outing tonight. Fans the first too many faces. That'll bring in Zach DeLoach. He's for a 1-2-3 inning. And Lyle, you and I had some time to be treated to a lunch in between the couple of games, and not sure if that burger that I had was as good as YD's Donut Burger. Of course, we tried those out earlier in the year. We'll be there one more time on Wednesday to end the season. Zach DeLoach taking his cut from the left side, swings at the first pitch and sends it out of play down the left field line, foul.
Were they good enough for you to get another?
See, that's the burning question. I don't know. I really don't know. And it depends on what kind of a mood I'm in when we get there. We'll see.
I think I'm going to have to get another. I really do.
Murphy's 0-1. Fastball, good for a strike at the knees to DeLoach. No balls, two strikes. Murphy in line for a 1-2-3 inning on strikes, perhaps. But Red Wilson's snack stand, I have to say, is probably the best on the Cape. And that is no stretch of the imagination, as an 0-2 breaking ball misses down by the shoe tops. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting DH DeLoach. But it depends, because there's so many different options with those donut burgers as far as they go. Murphy from the windup, 1-2 offering, swing and a miss, strike three. Pat yourself on the back, Kyle Murphy. 3 punch-outs in his inaugural inning here in Game 2. He fans the first 3 men in the Commodore order, and he gets Hyannis back to the plate, keeping the lead intact. Harbor Hawks 1, Commodores nothing from Gov Fuller Field. Let's go to the second on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis set to bring the bottom third of the order to the plate in the top of the second inning from Gov Fuller Field. Hyannis out in front of the Commodores 1-0 as we speak right now. Adam Hackenberg into the box to start things off. Swings at the first pitch and sends a fastball out of play off to the right. That'll be a souvenir for some fans. No balls and a strike. Hackenberg didn't see any time in Game 1. Hunter Goodman was the backstop back in McKeon Park earlier this afternoon. Hoffman ready from the windup. 0-1 offering. Swing and a miss through a breaking ball. Hackenberg's down 0-2. And for Adam, usually a platoon catcher goes every other. Shared some time with Chad McDaniel, but he's gone home for the summer. 0-2 from Hoffman, breaking ball and downstairs. Couldn't entice Hackenberg to go after it. A ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Hyannis put together 3 hits off of Hoffman. A new season high for him. Brings the black glove in front of the face as he looks down for a sign toward Klonch. Gets one into his motion. 1-2. Fastball just off the outer edge. Count levels 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hackenberg. Commodore infield playing a bit back. Down with outfield. Playing pretty much straight up with a 2-2. Pop up right side. That one will drift off out of play. Rowdy Jordan and Anthony Servideo set to follow Hackenberg here in the inning. But the story for Hyannis so far has been Kyle Murphy. Went 1-2-3 in the first inning and 3 strikeouts on the board. Against 3 very tough hitters at the top of the Commodore lineup. Hoffman, 2-2 offering. Hackenberg swings, sends one on the ground to short. Up with it, Kendall. He'll throw across the diamond in time to get Hackenberg. So the Clemson Tiger retired for out number 1. That'll bring in Rowdy Jordan. He'll take his cuts from the left side to switch hitting Mississippi State Bulldog.
Rowdy Jordan.
So Rowdy didn't see any time in game 1. Was a late scratch out of the lineup. Rigsby Mosley took his spot in right field where Jordan was originally slotted. Jordan playing center field here in game 2 at Gov Fuller. First pitch from Hoffman on the way. Sends it foul back and into the fencing. And for Rowdy on the summer, a 129 clip for him. No home runs, 3 RBIs. Trying to help himself out a little bit the first time around to the plate, seeing all-star Logan Hoffman. Jordan into his stance, gets ready for an 0-1. Sends one in the air to shallow left center, or left rather. Backing up the third baseman, Cruz onto the grass. He'll make the catch. And quickly 2 gone for Logan Hoffman.
The second baseman from the University of Mississippi, number 13.
That'll bring Anthony Servideo up to the plate. Also a new entry into the lineup for Chad Gassman here in game 2. Servideo had spent a majority of his time at second base this summer. Saw a few handful of games at shortstop, but with the addition of Lucas Dunn back to the roster, been having to share some time with the Louisville Cardinal. First pitch from Hoffman. Starts him off with off speed. That catches the outside corner at 82. Hoffman looking to settle down and answer Kyle Murphy's 1-2-3 inning from the first. 0-1 to Servideo. Wave and a miss. Back-to-back off-speed deliveries. Catches Servideo napping. No balls and 2 strikes. Jordan Westberg waits on deck, hoping for a chance in the second. He represents the top of the order. Hoffman, the wind-up, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the day racked up by Logan Hoffman. And it gets him out of the second inning, 1-2-3. The Northeastern Husky, Kyle Murphy, going for a follow-up act with Commodores coming back to the dish in the bottom of the inning when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Are you guys getting hungry? Cruz.
4, 5, and 6 due up for the Commodores in the second inning against starter Kyle Murphy. He's worked 1 perfect inning so far. 1-0, Harbor Hawks on top here on the road. Murphy gets a sign from Hackenberg. First pitch of the inning, off speed, up and away. So Trey Cruz, Troy Clonch, and Darren Radcliffe, the three to hit in the inning. Murphy, quick pace to him, fires a fastball low, fouled back to the fence by Trey Cruz. Cruz reached twice back in game one, a walk in the first, a single in the sixth. Also struck out and flew out to center with a grounder to short. 1-1 from Murphy. Fastball, Cruz sends it down the left field line in the air. Hava racing over toward the chalk, and he'll have no play as it falls harmlessly. So Kyle Murphy worked a 1-2-3 in the first, and he's no stranger to doing that. We touched upon it a bit throughout the season when Murphy has made appearances for Hyannis. But to start his 2019 campaign with the Northeastern Husky squad, made an exhibition start against the Boston Red Sox as part of their spring training to get ready for their 2019 season. Murphy worked a scoreless 1-2-3 inning in that contest as well. Fires a fastball inside, jackknives Cruz off the plate a couple inches. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one being pumped in at 91 according to the gun here at Gov Fuller. Murphy's next offering on 2-2. Cruz slaps it toward the third baseman Olsen. Plays it on a hop. Throw across the diamond a bit high, but helped out by Fair in time for the out. So a 5-3 put up for Jackson Olsen. That'll bring up Troy Clonch with nobody on and one down.
Troy Clonch.
So Murphy has set down the first 4 that he's faced. Looking very, very sharp out of the gates here for Hyannis. Trying to play a bit of spoiler and push off Falmouth, locking up the number 1 seed for at least another day. Murphy kicks and fires. Fastball inside, called strike. Murphy's longest appearance of the season came July the 9th against these Falmouth Commodores. Went 4 1/3 in that game. Picked up the decision. That was a loss. One of his 2 on the summer. Comes home with an 0-1. It's a fastball, misses outside. Murphy in that contest, that was an 8-1 defeat. That was back at home at McKeon. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. 1-1 to Clonch. Fastball picks out a spot at the top of the zone to make it 1-2 in favor of the Northeastern Husky. Murphy with a very, very quick pace to him, already on top of the hill, ready to go. 1-2 offering. Opposite way, Clonch sends it down the line in right, falling fast, blooping down for a single. It rolls into foul ground as Goodman hustles over to corral it, fires it back into second. And it's a short single for Troy Clonch with 1 out in the inning for Darren Radcliffe.
Now batting the right fielder from Georgia Tech.
Well, he didn't get much of that one, but just enough to squeak it into short right field. He just kind of flipped one off the end of the bat. Got enough on it to let it fall in front of Hunter Goodman for the first hit.
So just enough mustard on that one to muscle it over the head of Fair down the right field line. And the 2 corner infielders for Hyannis have had a handful of tough plays. Fair had one last night, a hot shot at him off the glove that scored a couple of runs. First pitch to Radcliffe, fastball misses outside at 87. But perhaps the play that was most controversial was in Game 2 yesterday against the Gatemen. Wound up being a triple down the left field line and scored a couple of runs to make the lead 3-0 in favor of Wareham. Swing and a miss from Radcliffe. Fastball down and away. Count moves to 1-1. Radcliffe broke out late in Game 1 earlier today, and a double and a walk, both in the 5th and 6th innings. Murphy from the stretch, kicks and deals. Fastball, trying to paint the outside corner, couldn't get the frame from Hackenberg. 2-1. Murphy gets the ball, spins and fires back to Fair at first. In standing the runner, Troy Clonch, no problem. Radcliffe brings the bat across the plate a couple times into his stance. Murphy ready. The 2-1 offering. Breaking ball down. Hackenberg smothers it between the legs. 3 balls and a strike. So Troy Clonch broke up a stretch of 4 in a row, retired by Murphy to start his outing with a single. Now Darren Radcliffe has worked himself into a good hitter's count on 3-1. Pitch from Murphy. Fastball roped down the first base side, foul. That clanks off the fence and rolls all the way toward Anthony Cervidio at second base. And that should tell you how much muscle Darren Radcliffe possesses at the plate. He is one tough customer up there, a member of the Home Run Derby. didn't win the competition, but everyone in that derby put on an absolute show, including Hunter Goodman. 3-2. That one sent down the right field line a bit deeper this time in the air off the fence, up over the miniature hill that resides past the Commodore dugout. There's a soft breeze blowing onto the field of play right now. Coming in from foul territory down the right field line, out toward left center. Murphy ready, the next 3-2. Radcliffe swings, sends it in the air deep to left center. Racing back, Hover and Jordan. And he'll be Rowdy to reach up and make the grab as he crashes into the wall. That's a fine play from Rowdy Jordan out there. Reaching up over the bill of the cap on the run toward the fence.
Sacramento State,
Stuck out the right hand to brace himself as he makes the grab, 2 down.
Well, there's not a whole lot of wind going here at Gov Fuller right now, the way there was at McKeon in game 1. But Baron Radcliffe, that just shows you the strength like you were talking about, Brendan. Looked like a pop-up off the bat, but that ball just kept going and going and going. But Rowdy Jordan never took his eyes off it. No warning track here at Gov Fuller Field, so a nice job to keep his eyes on the ball and track it all the way in.
A fine play from Rowdy Jordan. His first pitch swinging is Steven Moretto. Sent that one down the third baseline foul. A lot of these Falmouth bats have the ability to put the ball in play and make life tough for the defense out there. Rowdy Jordan sharing some time with Bryce Tedosio in center today. Bryce, the Clemson Tiger, got to start in game 1. Got in the bat off his college teammate Sam Weatherly as well, as that breaking ball misses outside from Murphy. Count 1-1. And Bryce pieced one up to center field at McKeon. That's a 394 marker out there back at home in Hyannis. Murphy still working from the stretch. A short lead for the runner at first, held on by Fair. Breaking ball spiked up in front of the plate. 2-1 the count with 2 away. So once again, 1-0 the score here at Gov Fuller. Hyannis up on top here on the road. Murphy trying to silence the Falmouth bats here in the second. Spinning a soft throw back to first, instating the runner Clonch. Setting started with the ground out from Trey Cruz to third base, followed up by a single from Clonch, who's now the runner at first, and Radcliffe most recently with the fly out to center a couple moments ago. 2-1 to Moretto, swinging a liner into right field over the head of Servideo. That's a base hit. Up to second base, Troy Clonch. Falmouth not going quietly here in the second inning. Steven Moretto pieces one up. He gets a board for the first time tonight. That'll bring in Kevin Kendall.
Well, that wasn't that different from Troy Clonch's bloop single. The only difference is it was a line drive, but it was a really soft line drive. It barely got over Servidio's head. Hunter Goodman had to come way in right field to field the baseball. But hits are hits, and Falmouth's got 2 aboard for a guy who's already hit a home run today.
Yeah, Kevin Kendall has already done it to Hyannis with the bat once. Trying to make up for it again here in game 2. Already had one mishap that resulted in the lone run on the board being scored. Murphy gives a look to Clonch at second. Double takes, now fires home. Fastball misses outside. Kendall in a spot with runners aboard this season has hit just 208. And if you want to put the magnifying glass over that number and look a bit further, 250 with men in scoring position. That's exactly where Clonch resides right now. Team's now even in the hit column 2 apiece as Murphy comes home. Fouled straight back. Austin Maisel, the left fielder, making an appearance here in game 2 for the first time today against Hyannis. He waits on deck. So Falmouth giving Murphy something to think about after an inning that he cruised through in this debut here in game 2 on the mound. 1-1. Off speed, just up high. Just below the letters. Hackenberg trying to give Murphy the benefit of the doubt with the frame. But no call, and it's 2-1 to Kendall. Takes his cuts from the left side. Murphy, ball dangling in his right hand. Pinwheels the ball with his hand, telling Hackenberg to go through the signs one more time. Now he's got one. They're on the same page. Looks to second, kicks and fires home. Breaking ball, that's in for a strike. Deuces wild here in the bottom of the second. Kevin Kendall put in a tough spot, needed to stay alive with 2 strikes. Murphy slowing his pace down considerably now with a couple aboard. Falmouth offense put up 9 against Hyannis in game 1. Trying to get on the board here in the second. Murphy's 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, chopper foul at the plate. So for Kyle Murphy, the ERA of 7.65 is the end to the night. Not terribly indicative of what he's done this summer. He's had a handful of good appearances. It's just been a couple of rough ones. One against these Commodores July the 9th. The one before that, June the 16th against Brewster, you can point to. 5 runs in 3 innings. But other than that, he's allowed 3 runs or fewer in each of the other appearances. 2-2. Fastball misses up and away to fill the count. As a matter of fact, 2 appearances against these Commodores separated by just 6 days. July the 9th and then July the 15th, in which Murphy went 2 2/3 scoreless. So he rebounded nicely against these Commodores. Trying to hold them off the boards here in the second inning. Shrugs the shoulders, comes home with a 3-2. Kendall spoils it away to the backstop foul. Well, these Harbor Hawks running into 2 powerhouse offenses. The Wareham Gatemen, of course, the best on the Cape this summer. And now these Commodores, who have just been absolutely remarkable against Hyannis, have no problem. Each of the squads, as a matter of fact, putting up runs. 3-2 with 2 away as Murphy gets another side. Looks to second, now fires home. Inside, ball 4. That loads him up. Launch down to third. Stephen Moretto to second. Kevin Kendall to first. Now the number 9 man, Austin Maisel, will dig in.
Well, Murphy's been right around the strike zone, and that one worked all the way to a 3-2 count, but he just missed a tad inside with that fastball. Loses Kendall. But Austin Maisel coming to the plate, a 9-hitter who's got quite the high average for a guy hitting at the bottom of the order.
So Maisel seeing Murphy for the first time. First action he's seen today for the Commodore Ball Club. Murphy fires on a breaking ball. That's down Main Street for a strike to start him off 0-1. So the free passes have come up time and time again throughout the day. Patrick Fredrickson walked 4 in his outing to start off game 1. A 1 from Murphy on the ground, left side, past the glove of Westberg into left, a base hit. 1 runs in to score, that's Klonch. Right behind him, Stephen Moretto will come to the plate. And Falmouth snatches the lead, a 2 RBI single off the bat of Austin Maisel. The Commodores strike again. Maisel picks up a couple.
Number 17, Tim.
Klonch and Moretto, no problem to cross the plate. Westberg gave it a full-out effort, but unable to get a piece of the glove on it. And Falmouth snatches the lead here at Gov Fuller with 2 outs in the second. It's 2-1.
We talked about Maisel's high average coming into the at-bat. He only ups it right there. But with that 1 hit, he just doubled his RBI total for the summer. Started with 2, now he's at 4.
Well, now it's back to the top of the order for Tim Tawa. Bit swing happy as he goes after the first pitch down and away. That one had no chance to be a strike, but Tawa, perhaps with the mindset of hitting, is contagious. That's also been a continuing trend as Hyannis put 3 home runs on the board in 1 inning in game 1. Falmouth, of course, struck for 4 right away in the second back in game 1 with a grand slam. Breaking ball misses down and away from Murphy again. Count a ball and a strike. But Falmouth scored in every single inning but 2 in the game 1. That was in the 3rd and in the 6th. Murphy set, pitch. Tawa swings, bounding ball towards short. Westberg in a couple steps will go the short way to second for the force to end the inning.
Ladies and
The
gentlemen,
6-4 fielder's choice gets Murphy out of any
Commodore
further trouble, courtesy of the Falmouth Commodores on the second. But the hometown ball club gets the lead back. It's 2-1 here from Gov Fuller with Hyannis back to the plate on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Jordan Westbrook.
Hyannis brings them around. Westberg from the right side, seeing Hoppin for the second time. Watches the breaking ball rest inside to start the inning. 1-0 the count. But the last thing Hyannis needs is for Logan Hoppin to get in a groove. Keep in mind, this game only a 7-inning contest, as it is the nightcap of a day-night doubleheader. Westberg swings and misses through a fastball low. Count evens a ball and a strike. Westberg 0 for 1. Popped out to second base his first time around to Tim Tawa. Hoffman from the first base side of the rubber pumps in a fastball. Westberg raises the elbows out of the way. 2 balls and a strike the count. Logan Hoffman set to transfer to Northwestern State University in 2019 from Colby Community College. Spent 2 years there playing his college ball as Westberg chops one foul up the third baseline. That'll get fouled toward the Hyannis dugout. But for Hoffman, a heavy workload in his 2 collegiate seasons. 85 2/3 as a freshman in 2017. 89 2/3 as a sophomore last year. For a total of 175 1/3 innings pitched. He's just been a buzzsaw for the Falmouth Commodores this year. As Westberg swings and puts one on the ground to short. Up with it, Kendall. He'll throw across, a throw wide, but keeping the foot on the bag, Moretto at first. Now Westberg gonna reach his first base umpire, Billy Julie, actually rolled it. The foot of Moretto came off the bag at just the last second. So Westberg takes off the batting gloves, hands him over to first base coach Travis Poole. Westberg aboard. That's the second error of the ball game for the shortstop, Kendall. Had a bit of a rough go of it at shortstop today. They're actually going to score that one a hit for Westberg. Bit of a tough play for Kendall, but it's fair stepping in now. Watches a fastball. That's good for a strike on the inside corner. Count 0-1. So with that, scored a single for Westberg. That's the third hit of the day he's picked up. And that evens Hyannis in the hit column with Falmouth, who has put up 2 on 3 hits, 1 on 3 so far for Hyannis. Westberg a modest lead behind the back of Hoffman over at first. Pitch to fair, swung on, that's laced into right. That's going to fall in front of Radcliffe, a base hit. So Hyannis just keeps on swinging the bats. Trying to hang around with the Commodores here in game 2.
Now batting their right fielder.
That'll bring in Hunter Goodman with 2 on and nobody out. So Hyannis, a team that came into the day offensively 6th in the league in hits with 300 on the nose. Hunter Goodman, no stranger to racking up hits. Came into the day tied for 7th in the league. Waves the bat through the zone toward Hoffman. Runner in scoring position for Hyannis. Trying to even up the ball game and in a good spot to do it. Breaking ball misses high. Just over the letters of the jersey for Goodman. Count 1-0. So Logan Hoffman trying to work himself out of some trouble. Hyannis trying to get things going a little bit earlier than they did in the first inning as Goodman swings at the 1-0 pitch, pops it up foul. That'll get out of play over the press box here at Gov Fuller. Count of 1-1. But back in the first inning when Hyannis put together 3 straight hits to score a run, Hoffman recorded the first 2 outs of the ball game. Jordan Westberg and Ian Fair. Now Westberg to pop out, Fair to ground out, but both have reached safely to start the third inning in the second time around against Hoffman. Goodman back into his stance as Hoffman takes a breath on the mound, now fires home. Swing and a miss through an off-speed delivery at 76. Hoffman really taking something off of that one. Getting Goodman to go right over the top of it. Ball and 2 strikes of the Memphis Tiger hitting from the right side. Hoffman kicks and fires from the stretch. Fastball, tapper fouled. Just in front of the fence where we reside. Ball boy will go retrieve that and bring it back to the Hyannis dugout. Goodman staying alive with 2 strikes. First time around, Goodman doubled. That set up a Jared DeSangelo RBI single to score him. Our Rocks just trying to get the offense going. Logan Hoffman, not an easy customer on the mound to do it off of, but they've got the right setup here with 2 on, nobody away. Pitch, breaking ball. Goodman sends a chopper to third. Played on an in-between hop. That's Cruz. He'll tag the bag at third. Throw across the diamond, not in time as Goodman is able to hustle it out. So a 5 unassisted fielder's choice to get Jordan Westberg at the bag at third. That'll move Fair into scoring position at second, trading
Now
places
batting
with the
the
Bulldog
designated
from
hitter
Mississippi
from
State.
Florida Atlantic
Goodman
University.
reaches for the second time. He's aboard with the fielder's
Jared
choice.
DeSangelo.
And now it'll be Jared DeSangelo stepping in for the second time. Well, the FAU Owl had himself quite an at-bat yesterday. Of course, a 2-run blast and a pinch hit appearance, but before that, DeSangelo had been slipping a little bit. So perhaps multiple Harbor Rocks who have hit home runs in the past couple days can use that as a slump buster. Brooks Carlson hit one in game 1 to lead off the 5th inning earlier today as DeSangelo cuts and misses through an off-speed delivery from Hoffman. Hyannis is now out-hit Falmouth on the boards 4-3. But they trail in the runs column 2-1. Fair off of second, Goodman off of first. Count of 0-1 to DeSangelo with 1 down. Hoffman winds, fires, fastball in the dirt. So a ball and a strike to DeSangelo. Comes into game 2 with an average of .288. 3 home runs and 10 RBIs for the FAU Owl on the summer so far. Bats from the left side with a closed stance as he looks out toward Hoffman. Look to second, the pitch. DeSangelo swings, sends that one down the right field line. That's going to fall in for a hit and keep on rolling. Around third, getting the way from Gassman to the plate, Ian Fair. Hunter Goodman gets the stop sign as DeSangelo cruises into second. The throw to the plate from the second baseman, Tala. Doesn't even matter, but Hyannis ties up the ball game. An RBI single from DeSangelo. He does it again. The second of the ball game and make it RBI number 12.
Number 10,
Ian Fair comes around from second to score. Hunter Goodman into scoring position at third base 90 feet away from giving Hyannis the lead right back. That'll bring up Trevor Hopper. And Jared DeSangelo having himself a heck of a day here in game 2, making his mark felt at Gov Fuller. But in steps Trevor Hopper, no stranger to success as well here at Gov Fuller. He's got 2 in scoring position. Hoffman back to the windup, the pitch. Off speed, catches the outside corner, good for a strike. And for the left-handed hitting Sun Devil, his first home run of the summer came right here. With the bases loaded, it was a grand slam. It's part of a 10-4 victory for Hyannis. It was their first and only victory over the Commodores to this point in 2019, as now time is called. Trevor, of course, would love to drive one out here again, but just looking to get a base hit into the outfield to score a couple as that breaking ball misses outside. Hoffman trying to sneak one backdoor at 83. A ball and a strike with 1 away to the left-handed hitting Arizona State product. Hoffman brings the glove in front of the face. Into the windup, the pitch. Fastball up high. Hopper thought about going around. Pulled the bat back. Instead, the count 2 balls and a strike. And Trevor's already 1 for 1 on his day here in game 2. That was a single back in the first inning, the third of 3 consecutive hits. Only reached once in game 1. That was with a walk and went 0 for 2 after that. Hoppins 2-1. Fastball catches the bottom of the zone at the knees of Hopper for a strike. 2 balls, two strikes. Hopper takes a quick step out to reset himself. Hoffman trying to bounce back after a shaky start to the inning. First 4 men have reached, but he does have an out on the board. Hopper again calls time. Hoffman staring down at his catcher Klotz for a long while before getting a sign. Hopper decided he had had enough. Back into the box for a 2-2 offering. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, Hopper chops one foul right side past Travis Poole. And Trevor hanging tough. Picked up his 27th walk of the season earlier on this afternoon. Resides just one behind Jamal O'Gwynn of Chatham. Those two have been going back and forth for the lead in that category for quite some time. Hopper trying to battle with 2 strikes. The pitch, pop up, left side. That'll drift back out of play into the brush. Just beyond the confines of Gov Fuller Field. And a couple of nights ago at Spillane Field, we talked about the obscurities of that ballpark, and with the goalpost in the field of play down the left field line. Gov Fuller, not that much different. Although there is a goalpost not in the field of play, but beyond the fence in deep right center. 2-2 to Trevor. Swinging another pop-up. This one drifting down the left side again. Cruz gave it a look for a moment, but that one's out of play. No markers on the fence here to signal distance at Gov Fuller, but that goalpost a long, long way out there. But that grand slam that Hopper hit a while back earlier on in the summer here at Gov Fuller was headed out for that goalpost. And sure, Hopper was aiming to split the uprights on that one. Swing and a miss through an off-speed delivery here as he goes down for strike 3. Second punch-out racked up by Logan Hoffman of his outing. That'll bring in Hartford third baseman Jackson Olsen. Olsen 0 for 1, a fly out to center his first time up. Coming around for the second time against Northwestern State product Logan Hoffman. Time is called. Pitching coach for Falmouth on his way out to the mound. He'll bring Troy Klotch along with him. Corner infielders Trey Cruz and Steven Moretto also headed in for the conference. Hunter Goodman at third. Jared DeSantolo up to second base. He's got 2 RBIs tonight. Responsible for driving in both of the runs to even the ball game here at Gov Fuller as Jackson Olsen takes a stroll back to the dugout. That's going to be it for the start of Logan Hoffman today from Gov Fuller. As Jeff Trundy pulls the ball away from his starter here in the 3rd inning. Pitching change from Gov Fuller on hand. We'll be back after the break on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Jackson Olsen makes his stride back to the plate off the pitching change. Falmouth turns to their second arm here in game 2. First out of the bullpen in relief of Logan Hoffman. It's to Lewis University right-hander Bradley Littleton. Right-hander stands at 6'2", 195, making just his second appearance on Cape Cod. First pitch to Jackson, swing and a drive, deep right center field, sending back the center fielder down to the wall. He leaps and it's out of here. Jackson Olsen gets one out of the park here at Gov Fuller. Puts Hyannis back in the lead, 4-2. Jackson Olsen, how about that? Drives one out of here deep to right center field. He took a fastball on the first pitch he sees from Brad Littleton.
From Clemson University,
My, oh my, what a
Adam
shot. The home runs just keep piling up for Hyannis today. Jackson Olsen, the Hartford University product, wasting little time against Brad Littleton. Hackenberg steps in, waving a miss through that one. Off speed, down and away. And that ball off the bat didn't look like it had much carry to it, but very, very deceptive as that ball just kept on going. Hackenberg looks at another off speed, down and away. Got a ball in a strike to the Clemson Tiger. Hackenberg from the right side. Littleton flares the hands over his head as he fires a fastball fouled away from Hackenberg.
Sorry, you're not allowed in the police security.
For Jackson, that's his first home run of the summer.
Balls there alone. Thank you.
RBIs 7, 8, and 9. And stretches the Hyannis lead out to 3, 5-2. Littleton winds, fires. Hackenberg swings, lifts one right side. That'll be another souvenir. Hackenberg 0 for 1. Ground out to shortstop first time around. So for Hyannis, the fourth long ball of the day combined between the two games. Littleton winds, deals a fastball that just misses outside to even the count 2-2. Nobody on, 2 out. Hyannis, half of the third inning. 6 men have come to the plate. 5 have reached. Pitch. Hackenberg swings, lifts one. Onto the infield, drifting back onto the short outfield grass. Tawa. Behind the lip of the grass, he'll make the grab above the cap to make the catch and end the inning. But not before Jackson Olsen strikes. Picks up 3 RBIs on a long ball to right center. Puts Hyannis out in front, 5-2 here from Gov Fuller. Falmouth on their heels, trying to strike back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
From Western Michigan University.
2, 3, and 4 to the plate in the bottom of the third inning. Blake Dunn, Zach DeLoach, and Trey Cruz set to go for the Commodores against Kyle Murphy. Kyle's allowed 2 runs on 3 hits so far in his outing today. And Hyannis has struck for 4 runs in the third inning. Pitch from the northeastern righty. Breaking ball rests inside to start off Blake Dunn. Count 1-0. Dunn 0 for 1. He was a punch-out victim first time around. Part of a 1-2-3 inning that Murphy fanned on strikes. The 1-0. Fastball done inside out swing. Blooper toward first. Reaching up and making a snow cone grab. Ian Fair as he ranges into foul ground.
Now batting.
So a nice easy play for Ian Fair to start the inning. And helps out Kyle Murphy putting it out on the board rather quickly. Just a couple of pitches and records 1 out as Zach DeLoach strides to the plate from the left side. And spearheading that 4-run surge in the last half of the inning was Jackson Olsen, who now stands at third base, playing just behind the lip of the infield grass. Blasted his first home run of the summer. Breaking ball down. Starts out the hitter Zach DeLoach with an off-speed delivery. And this seems like the place to be if you want to hit your first home run of the season. Hyannis has done that twice. Trevor Hopper, of course, earlier on in the year, and now Jackson Olsen. Breaking ball, bottom of the zone, good for a strike to DeLoach. Count 1-1 with 1 out. Murphy gives a deep breath as he shrugs the shoulders. Already back into the line, the pitch. Fastball, DeLoach swings and taps one foul under the legs of Hackenberg to the fence. As a matter of fact, if you want to take first home runs a bit further, another member of the Hyannis lineup tonight also got a first here at Gov Fuller. That was Hunter Goodman. And boy, has he really taken off since. Murphy from the line. 1-2 pitch on the ground towards second. Servideo to his right. Corrals it, fire to first in time. 2 quick counts on the board for Kyle Murphy. Trying to bounce back with a quick inning after getting knocked around a little bit in the second.
The third baseman from Rice University.
An inning that saw Falmouth send 7 members of the lineup to the plate. With Trey Cruz coming up to the plate. Another left-handed bat for the Commodores has Murphy in line for a second 1-2-3 frame. Murphy from the middle of the rubber fires the first pitch. Fastball in the air behind the second base bag. Drifting back, Westberg coming in rowdy Jordan. It'll be Westberg to call off Jordan and make the play to end the inning. So just like that, in the blink of an eye, Kyle Murphy sets down the 2-3-4 hitters in the Commodore lineup. Harbor Hawks 5, Commodores 2. Let's go to the 4th inning from Gov Fuller on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Rowdy Jordan, Anthony Servideo, and Jordan Westberg to the plate for action in the top of the 4th. Brad Littleton back to the hill for Falmouth, his first full inning in relief. He'll face the 8-9-1 members of the Hyannis Harbor Hawk order. Blue and orange on top, 5-2 on the road here from Gov Fuller. Put up 1 in the first, 4 in the third last time around at the plate. Littleton kicks and fires, first pitch off speed. In on the inside corner for a strike to start off Jordan. Now for Brad Littleton, making just his second appearance in a Commodore uniform, a late arrival on Cape Cod this summer as Jordan swings and puts one in the air to center. Sending back Blake Dunn a couple steps. He'll make the grab, no problem. And Jordan's gone for out number 1. Jordan makes it an 0-for-2 day. That'll bring in Anthony Servideo.
Now batting.
Trying to avoid that same fate. He's 0-for-1. He punched out first time around.
Number 13, Anthony is Servideo.
And for Littleton, also made an appearance that same day, July the 25th, that Logan Hoffman entered the game. That was against the Orleans Firebirds in a 6-1 victory. Pitch to Servideo. Good for a strike, 0-1. Littleton worked an inning in his debut against the Firebirds, gave up 2 hits, walked 1 and struck out 2, and faced 5 men. 0-1 to Servideo, cut and a miss through an off-speed delivery. Almost Rebel quickly finds himself down, no balls and 2 strikes. Middleton flares the glove over the cap, fires home on 0-2. Up and away to Servideo. So for Anthony, a 147 hitter as he comes into his second at bat. Middleton already into his motion, fires. Servideo swings and puts one on a line to the shortstop. Kevin Kendall, who squeezes it for out number 2. No problem for Kendall, barely had to move. Took one quick short step to his left to squeeze it and retires Servideo. Quick 2 up, 2 down as Jordan Westberg strides to the plate for his third cuts. So Westberg, the big power bat, and a base hit last time around. 1 for 2 so far here in the second contest today as he swings and misses through a fastball away. So for Brad Littleton, in 2019, 5-2, the Lewis University Flyers as he comes home with a pitch to Westberg. Good for a strike on the outside corner. Made 13 appearances, started 12. So not a guy that's particularly fond of coming out of the bullpen, but doing so for the Commodores today. Trying to fan Westberg on 0-2. The pitch, fastball high. Right around the shoulder level of Westberg as he's kicking some dirt around to the batter's box. Littleton also a guy not afraid to work a heavy workload as Westberg pops one up left field. Coming on strong, the left fielder Maisel. He loses the cap, but he'll make the catch on the move. That'll end the inning. But Brad Littleton, after giving up a home run in his first time around to Jackson Olsen, comes right back and works a 1-2-3 frame. The score stays the same as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It's Harbor Hawks 5, Commodores 2 here from Gov Fuller on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Falmouth sends up their 5-6-7 to the plate to begin the bottom of the fourth here from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. Kyle Murphy's back on the mound for Hyannis with his Harbor Hawks leading by a score of 5-2. Clonch will dig into the right side of the box to face the righty Murphy. He gets the sign, rocks and fires home. Good breaking ball, lands right at the top of the zone, 0-1. Clonch 1 for 1 today with a run scored. Murphy has his infield back. Gets the sign from the catcher Hackenberg. Pitch, grounded foul, back off the screen. So Murphy, up to this point, has worked 3 strong innings. Given up 2 earned runs on 3 hits, but he's only walked 1. He's punched out 3. 0-2, fastball high. So Clonch wiggling the bat out in front of his front leg. Murphy, the righty, is set right at the letter high level, working from the windup. Lifts the leg, comes home. Fastball down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy's had a fastball sitting in the low 90s today. He's hit 90, 91 a good handful of times. Claunch, the right-hander from Oregon State, has his back shoulder bent. The 2-2. Fastball just down low. The count swells. 3 balls, 2 strikes to begin the bottom of the 4th. Hyannis up by 3, capitalizing on that 4-run top of the 3rd inning. Murphy ready, the payoff pitch. Ground ball left side, charging in Westberg, gloves out in front, fires across in time. So Claunch retired. He's made it a 1-for-2 day. And Kyle Murphy has now retired 5 straight hitters as he's set to face Barron Radcliffe, left-handed bat from Georgia Tech. Radcliffe hit one all the way to the wall in center field his first at bat. Rowdy Jordan had a nice beat on it, tracking it all the way down. Had to move well out and a bit to his right. Caught it right in front of the fence and gave a little bit of a crash into that red netted fence out in center field. Now Murphy's first pitch. Heater right down Broadway. 0-1. Radcliffe 5 home runs on the summer. 19 runs batted in. Murphy gets the sign from the catcher Hackenberg. Offering. Fastball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Falmouth with 3 hits today. One's come from Claunch, 1 from Moretto, 1 from Austin Maisel. Murphy ready. The pitch. Off speed low. Count runs to 2 balls, 1 strike. Murphy made 11 starts in his college season at Northeastern. Had an ERA of 4.66, struck out 66. The pitch, swing and a miss. Radcliffe gives a weak wave, gets nothing of it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away. Murphy was 2nd on the team in wins in 2019. 2nd in starts, 2nd in strikeouts, 3rd in innings pitched as he threw 67 2/3. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Murphy fans Barron Radcliffe for the 2nd out of the inning. It's his 4th punch out of the ball game, his first since the 1st inning.
Number 31, Steven Moretto.
So now Steven Moretto, the hitter. 3 of the 4 punch outs have been swinging. 1 was looking to Tim Tawa to lead off the bottom of the 1st. Moretto responsible for 1 of the 3 hits and 1 of the 2 runs as he came across on a 2 RBI single from Austin Maisel. The offering. High chopper to the left side. Now gets down on Olsen under his glove. Now fielded by Westberg. Throw to first. Not in time. So Moretto beats it out at first base. It was a high chopper going toward Jackson Olsen at 3rd. He had to move to his left, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the ball just died on him. Came down low, got a little bit under his glove. Jordan Westberg was backing him up at 3rd base, moving to his right. But he made the play, although couldn't quite make the throw in time.
And that's just kind of a funny play for Jackson Olsen at 3rd. You never know how the lip of the grass is going to go at each respective field here on Cape Cod. We've already saw one weird, wacky play at McKeon over the head of Tim Tawa off a ground ball back in game 1, and that time just unlucky for Olsen.
Murphy works to the stretch. First pitch to Kevin Kendall. This is away. It's ball 1. So the official score is going to rule that an E5, but there can be a little asterisk put next to that one. As Murphy picks off to first, his college teammate Ian Fair slaps the tag down, but not in time. So technically an E5, but there really wasn't much Olsen could do about that. Like Brennan said, that's just something you can't guess. The pitch, line drive, getting quickly down into right field, a base hit. Around 2nd, thinking 3rd, the runner Moretto. Throw coming in from 3rd base from Goodman, past the 3rd baseman Olsen, but backed up by Murphy. And moving up to 2nd base on the play, Kevin Kendall. The UCLA Bruin picks up a 2-out single, advances to 2nd on a throw from right to 3rd from Hunter Goodman. And Falmouth's threatening in the bottom of the 4th. There's 2 on, both in scoring position with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Austin Maisel, who's already responsible for the 2 RBI single earlier in the ballgame. Maisel hitting from the left side. He's one of 4 natural lefties in the lineup today. Trey Cruz, a switch hitter, also hitting from the left side against the righty Murphy. Maisel represents the tying run at the plate. Murphy, the stretch and offering. Off speed, way up high, didn't break. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Kevin Kendall out at 2nd base. He's retying his shoe as he's bent down with Steven Moretto ahead of him at third base. He reached on the quote-unquote E5 from Jackson Olsen. Pitch from Murphy. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. So Murphy gave up that 2 RBI single to Austin Maisel, but other than that, he's been really, really sharp. Looking to minimize damage here in the bottom of the 4th inning. He's got 2 on with 2 out. Now the pitch to Maisel. Grounded foul to the right side. First base coach lets it go in and out of his hands. Tried to make a play on it. That one was coming in hot. He'll just toss it over to a couple of young fans over the fence down the first base line. Same area where the American flag resides, blowing a little bit out. Lights have flipped on a little bit here as the sun's starting to set from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. Murphy back on the mound, gets set from the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Off speed low. 3 balls, 1 strike. So Murphy has a free base to give, but if he walks Maisel, he'll flip things back to the top of the lineup. Tim Tower resides there. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a fielder's choice. Maisel the hitter, wiggling the bat above his back shoulder. 3-1. Pop up left side foul. This will find the trees well beyond the third base line here at Gov Fuller. So Austin Maisel will call time for a minute. He'll adjust the batting gloves and get set just outside the box. So the Falmouth Commodores trailing by 3 to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks of the West Division. This is the 6th and final matchup between these two teams. Falmouth has won 12 of their last 13 games. 3-2 from Murphy. Just inside, ball 4. Borderline strike from the right-hander Murphy, but he walks Austin Maisel to fill up the bases for Tim Tawa.
Number 17, Tim Tawa.
So Tawa's going to work his way to the right side. He has got a potent RBI opportunity. He's representative of the go-ahead run. Tawa, one of 4 righties in the lineup today. He'll be the 6th man to the plate this inning. Moretto at third, Kendall at second, Maisel at first. Murphy still working from the stretch. Fires home. Breaking ball drops in there. 0-1 the count. Jackson Olsen playing back behind the bag at third, exchanging a couple of friendly words with Cal State's Steven Moretto, who's just idling off of third base. The entire infield back. Murphy's 0-1. Fastball high. Count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike. Tawa currently hitting .214. It's been an up and down summer for the Stanford Cardinal. He has 6 RBIs. He's got a potent opportunity right here. Pitch from Murphy. Swing and a miss. Tawa hacks underneath a fastball over the top of the strike zone. Count runs to 1-2 with 2 down. Tawa hitting .333 with the bases loaded this summer. 1 for 3 at that, although hitting just .200 with runners in scoring position. 1-2 from Murphy. Line drive into shallow center field. Jordan incoming, drops in front of him. 1 run scores, Kendall behind him. He's going to score without a throw. Just like that, the Commodores have made it a 1-run ball game. It's a 2 RBI single for Tim Tawa. RBI's number 7 and 8 of his summer. And it's 5-4 Hyannis in the bottom of the 4th.
Number 23.
Well, Jordan got a good read on it off the bat, and he was coming on strong, but just at the last second, he pulled up and let it fall in front of him. And it looked like if he dove, he might have had a chance to make the play and end the inning. And if you let it drop in front of you, 2 runs are going to score anyway. But an interesting decision from Jordan to just kind of let it fall.
So this will bring up Blake Dunn. He's 0 for 2 today, but he's already made his presence felt on Hyannis between this doubleheader. A grand slam in the 2nd inning of Game 1. That gave Falmouth a 5-0 lead. He squares to bunt, pops it up, grabbed by Hackenberg with the bare hand, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Talk about some prestidigitation from the Clemson Tiger. He watches the baseball be popped right into the air on an attempted bunt from Blake Dunn. Hackenberg just stands up, reaches out his bare hand, and snags the baseball out of midair for the final out. So Hackenberg puts a statement on Blake Dunn for the final out of the inning, and that's how the bottom of the fourth comes to a close. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base for Falmouth in the inning. We'll go to the top of the 5th. It's the Commodores 4, the Harbor Hawks 5 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Ian Fair stepping to the plate to begin the top of the 5th with the right-hander Brad Littleton up on the mound as he's ready to go. Fires the first pitch home. It's a breaking ball on the inside corner. 0-1. 5-4 Hyannis the score in the top of the frame. Falmouth put up 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth. Both courtesy of 2 RBI singles. Now the 0-1. This breaking ball paints the outside corner. Count runs to 0-2. Fair's already got a hit today. Singled back in his last at-bat and later came around to score. Littleton puts the glove over the face. Now comes home with the 0-2. Fastball runs outside. So Ian Fair, home run in game 1 and a 1-for-4 outing. And now the 1-2 comes in. Taps foul back behind the plate. And with that third inning single from the Northeastern first baseman, he's now made it hits in 16 of his last 18 games. What a second stint this kid's had with Hyannis. Infield playing back with nobody on, nobody away. Littleton gets the sign from the catcher, Clonch, comes home. Line drive down the left field line. This is hooking just foul. Fair squared one up and turned on it, but just couldn't quite hook it inside the foul line as he'll come back to the box. So Littleton gets a new baseball back on the mound. He came in to relieve Logan Hoffman. The All-Star We apologize for any technical difficulties. If you're just joining us here in the bottom of the fifth, Falmouth just let things off with a triple from Zach Deloach, the Texas A&M product. He shot one down the right field line off the righty Kyle Murphy. And now he's worked his way into third base as Falmouth has the tying run 90 feet away for Trey Cruz. So Kyle Murphy's back on the mound for inning number 5. He's trying to give Hyannis and Chad Gassman some quality frames tonight. To this point, he's kept his team in the ballgame, no question. But now the tying run, just 90 feet from scoring. And Trey Cruz, switch hitting third baseman from Rice, digs in. Murphy, the right-hander, works to the stretch, comes home. Fastball inside, brushes the hitter Cruz off the plate a bit. It's 1-0. Trey Cruz 0 for 2 today. Ground out to third, pop out to short. Some action looming in the Hyannis bullpen. The pitch, breaking ball low and in, chested up by Hackenberg. Count runs to 2-0. Jackson Olsen, the third baseman, playing just in front of the bag. Toes touching the lip of the infield grass. Jordan Westberg's back. And Anthony Servideo and Ian Fair are a little bit in. Pitch to Cruz. Ground ball right side. Servideo comes in, looks the runner back to third, flips to Ian Fair covering the bag, 1 down. Nice play from Anthony Servideo. Takes the proper protocol, comes in, fields the ball at about the neck level, looks back the runner Deloach to third, and then just gives an easy underhand flip to Ian Fair covering first. Troy Clonch now the hitter. He's swinging the bat outside, the right side of the batter's box, sporting some white and silver cleats, pretty shiny at that. Some nice shoes being sported by the Oregon State catcher. As he swings away, fouls one off to the right side, 0-1. Well, you want to talk about shoes. This guy has about some size 18s to fill when he gets back to school. He's set to take over for Adley Rushman, who was just the #1 overall pick in the 2019 MLB draft. Back-to-back years he hit 400. As the pitch comes into Clonch, ground ball up the middle. Westberg to his left, can't get there, skips into center field. Zach Deloach scores from third base, and it's an RBI single for Troy Clonch, his 7th run batted into the summer. Just like that, it's 5-5 here from Gov Fuller Field.
Well, on that one, a bounding ball back to the mound, and Murphy looked like he was playing a game of Twister as he tried to extend the glove across his body as he finished through his windup. Fell down on the seat of his pants as it rolled up the middle into center field to score Deloach from third, and Troy Clonch doing the job here to tie the ball game, and Chad Gassman looks like he's on his way out to the mound. That's going to be it for Murphy today.
So Murphy's day will end. He goes a total of 4 1/3 innings pitched. He'll exit the game. Hyannis is going to bring in a new reliever on the other side of the break. It's 5-5 here from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. We'll take a quick break and bring you back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back in the bottom of the fifth from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. It's 5-5 between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores. And Chad Gassman opts to go to the bullpen for the first time today, bringing in the right-hander Tyler Drabick from Kent State. He's set to face Barron Radcliffe. Big left-handed bat from Georgia Tech with a man on. Works to the stretch, fires home. Fastball, outside, ball one. Tyler Drabick's making his 7th appearance on the summer. He's thrown 8 1/3 innings, a 7.56 ERA. 4 walks to 7 strikeouts. Right-hander looks down, glove set above the belt. He looks down again, checking the runner. 1-0. Breaking ball in the dirt, chested up by Hackenberg. Count will move to 2 balls, no strikes. Drabick's last outing consisted of a 2-inning performance. 1 hit, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, and he didn't walk anybody. Drabick's 2-0. Fastball just away. 3 balls, no strikes. And Drabick doesn't walk a whole lot of guys to begin with. Only the 4 walks in 8 1/3 innings thus far this season. He can certainly miss some bats, but sometimes he ends up finding too much of the plate as the fastball misses down to Barron Radcliffe, ball 4. So the Georgia Tech product draws a 1-out walk. Right on cue, that sends Troy Clonch up to second base. And this will bring up Steven Moretto.
Number 31, Steven Moretto.
So Moretto, the hitter, digging into the right side. Clonch, the runner at second, once again set to take over for Adley Rushman at Oregon State when school ball starts again in February. That is one tall task. Rushman hit .400 for 2 straight seasons. Golden Spikes finalist in 2018. Golden Spikes winner in 2019. The pitch to the hitter, Moretto, gets away from the catcher, Hackenberg. Every runner's going to move up 90 feet. Clonch down to third, Radcliffe up to second. And Falmouth is threatening big time here in the bottom of the 5th. Hackenberg's going to call time. He's going to walk out to the mound to have a word with the righty Drabick. So Tyler Drabick stands at 6'3", 205 pounds, hails from North Canton, Ohio, where he attended Hoover High School. Plays his college ball at Kent State. Classic 4-pitch guy. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. The heater will sit from the high 80s to the mid 90s. Moretto taking a long time working his way back into the right side of the box. Drabick's going to work to the windup. So he has no reason to slide step with runners on second and third. The rest of the infield coming in on the grass. Right-handers 1-0. Fly ball lifted shallow right center field. In comes Jordan. He's going to settle under it and make the play. Clonch tags from third. The throw's going to go to third as Clonch steps on the plate standing up. It's an RBI sacrifice fly for Steven Moretto, his 13th run batted into the summer. And Falmouth, how about that? They're going to double him off. They're going to say the runner, Troy Clonch, left early from third. The throw goes back to third base. Olsen steps on the bag, and that ends the inning. So that's going to do it here from Falmouth, or rather for the inning. That run will be taken off the board. And it's 5-5 remaining here from Gov Fuller Field. How about a heads-up play from Rowdy Jordan? He didn't bother throwing home. He threw over to third base. And it looks like Clonch is going to be doubled off for the double play. And a little bit of confusion everywhere here. Jeff Trundy walking out to the field. Chad Gassman walking out to the field. They're both trying to get a little clarity. But how about that? If this stands, that is one heads-up play from Rowdy Jordan. So Trundy getting a couple words. Gassman getting a couple words, exchanging just a smile. Yeah, it looks like this call is going to stand.
Jeff Trundy has every right to be upset, and he's out here on the field wondering just what is going on. Is Gassman walking back to the dugout? He'll take this call all day. Should it stand, and it looks like it will, but what a heads-up play from Rowdy Jordan in center. I'm not sure there's any way he could have known if the runner left early. He had to keep his eye on the ball all the way, but throwing it back to Jackson Olsen at third and tagging the bag to double him off.
And John Petula, the home plate umpire, is going to signal at the official scoreboard 5-5. So that run's coming off the board. What a heads-up play from Rowdy Jordan. Clonch left early from third. He throws to third. Olsen steps on the bag, and that's how this one ends. So through 5 innings, it's 5-5 here from Gov Fuller Field. We'll take a very short break and bring you back in just a second on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. To the top of the 6th we go from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. Trevor Hauver, Jackson Olson, and Adam Hackenberg due to the plate for Chad Gassman's Harbor Hawks squad. And Jeff Trundy's going to go to the bullpen again. Third arm into the game, second out of relief. It'll be the left fielder by trade, Austin Langworthy, taking the mound as the lefty kicks and fires to Trevor Hauver. It's a fastball up high. So Langworthy up this season. He's making his 6th appearance from the mound. He's thrown 4 2/3 innings as he rocks home to Hauver, popped foul, up and out of play over the press box. Langworthy's had a tough summer at the plate, hitting 182, just 182. He's got a 9.64 ERA with the Commodores so far. He comes home with the 1-1. Off speed, misses down low. 2 balls, 1 strike to the Sun Devil Hauver. So it's still 5-5 here. There's still a little bit of music playing over the PA. As Langworthy comes home, Hauver grounds one on a couple hops out to the shortstop Kendall. Moves to his left, gloves, fires to first in time. So Hauver with the 6-3 putout. That's the first out of the top of the 6th. And now Jackson Olson, who's fresh off his first home run of the summer, is going to step into the left side.
Now batting, the third baseman from the University of Hartford.
So Langworthy in his last appearance went 1 inning. That was back against the Bourne Braves out at Doran Park just yesterday, July the 28th, where he gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits with 1 strikeout. Another lefty-lefty matchup as the pitch comes home to Olson. Off speed, misses just away. 1 ball, no strikes. Langworthy's next offering, another off speed. This misses outside as well. So Falmouth playing an absurd stretch of games to end the season, and because of it, Jeff Trundy pulling out all the strings. The pitch comes in, fastball inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Langworthy hasn't had a whole ton of success from the mound this summer. As the lefty's ready, he comes home. Hits the bottom of the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike. Or at least per ERA, it says he hasn't been that successful. He'd thrown 3 scoreless appearances before his one yesterday at Bourne. 3-1. 81-mile-an-hour pitch comes in on the outside corner. Count runs full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Langworthy working really quickly. 3-2. Called strike 3 at the top of the zone. Olson frozen for the second out of the inning as Langworthy's recorded his first strikeout of the night, his 6th of the summer. And he's set to face Adam Hackenberg. So Langworthy is not throwing particularly hard, but he's recorded 2 outs in the first 2 hitters here in the 6th. First pitch to Hackenberg. Ground ball left side. To his right moves Kevin Kendall. Gloves, fires across the diamond, and it's a strike in time. So how about the Florida Gator Austin Langworthy? Comes into the ball game for the 6th and retires the Harbor Hawks 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. It's the Harbor Hawks 5, the Commodores 5 through 5.5 frames. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Shortstop from
8-9-1 coming to the plate for Falmouth here in the bottom of the 6th. Kevin Kendall, Austin Maisel, Tim Towa, the hitters due up against the righty Tyler Drabick. He's back on the mound. Glove buried in his face as he gets the sign from the catcher Hackenberg. Rocks and fires. Swing and a miss from Kendall, strike one. Kendall's really hurt the Harbor Hawks today in both games. 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored so far in game 2 here from Falmouth. And he had that home run to dead center back in game 1. The pitch shows bunt, pulls back, but it's an off-speed low. 1-1 to the UCLA Bruin. Kendall with just 2 home runs on the summer. He is not a guy that flashes a whole lot of power. He had just 3 home runs in his school season at UCLA. Bat rested on his back shoulder. Strabick comes home. Line drive into deep left center field. Hover goes back, moves a couple to his left, and he's under it to make the grab. So Kendall lofts one the other way, but no problem for his Pac-12 foe Trevor Hover, who moves a bit to his left to make the play for the first out.
Now batting the left fielder from Holy Cross, number 8.
Austin Maisel now the hitter. Maisel didn't get the start in game 1. He's hitting out of the number 9 slot and playing left field here in game 2. He's got 2 RBIs on a single as well as a walk. The pitch. Pop up, towering fly left side. Olsen back. Now Westberg moving out and to his right. He settles under it, calls off Olsen, and squeezes it for the out. So 2 away very quickly here in the bottom of the 6th. Drabick stayed pretty economical so far in his relief outing.
Now batting the second.
And this will bring up Tim Towa. So it's 5-5 the score. That's courtesy of Rowdy Jordan. Could have very, very easily been a 1-run Commodores lead to this point, but Rowdy Jordan made the catch on a flyout from Steven Moretto back an inning ago. Realized that Troy Klonch took off early and threw to third base. First pitch to Towa. Breaking ball up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Olsen just put his left foot on the bag, and that ended the inning. So Klonch was called out, leaving too early from third base on the sac fly. The 1-0. Pop up over the press box behind home plate, and this will find the crowd. So it's 5-5 the score. Towa the hitter, responsible for the 2 RBI single that inched Falmouth ever so close to Hyannis. The pitch, swing and a miss. Towa way out in front of a breaking ball from Drabick. It's 1-2. So that can be ruled back on that Moretto fly ball, an F8 and then an 8-5 double play. Now the pitch to Towa. Pop up right side. Ian Fair giving a chase coming in a bit to his left, looks up, and it gets over the first base dugout. So Ian Fair gave it a look, but had no play at it. Towa's going to stay alive with a 1-2 count. Drabick so far hasn't given up a run or a hit in an inning and a third pitched. The 1-2. Check swing. Does he go around? Yes, sir. Strike 3 to end the inning. Tyler Drabick strikes out Tim Towa for his first punch out of the evening. Towa throws his bat back toward the Falmouth dugout. And through 6 frames, it's Falmouth 5, Hyannis 5. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on in the frame. We'll go to the top of the 7th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Rowdy Jordan leading things off to begin the top of the 7th from Gov Fuller Field in Game 2 of this doubleheader between Hyannis and Falmouth. Austin Langworthy back to the hill, two-way player from the University of Florida. As he quickly slide steps, quick pitches Rowdy Jordan. It's a one-hopper on a high chopper over to third base. Cruz Fields fires on the run to first in time. So there's a little rabbit pulled out of the hat from Langworthy. A guy who doesn't throw that hard has to have some tricks up his sleeve, and what does he do with nobody out and nobody on? He just quick pitches Rowdy Jordan, who was fooled on it for the first out.
Number 13, Anthony Servideo.
So that's one way to get a quick out. Brings up Anthony Servideo. As Langworthy, the lefty, gets set, fires home. Fastball up high, 1-0. Servideo today 0 for 2. He's looking for his first hit. The pitch, off speed, catches the bottom of the zone, 1-1. 5-5 the score here between Hyannis and Falmouth. The pitch, fly ball lifted deep right field. Back goes Radcliffe, still going. It's off the top of the fence. Servideo hits the bag at first. He's thinking two. He slides in safely, and he picks up a one-out double here in the top of the 7th inning. The go-ahead run now 180 feet away. And Anthony Servideo squares one up to right field, gets off the top of the fence here from Gov Fuller.
Well, for Servideo, got an inside fastball. He didn't miss it, and that one has some significance to it. That's Servideo's first hit off a lefty all summer. So for Servideo, that one's definitely got to feel good as he puts himself into scoring position and just one out late in the ball game.
So here's Jordan Westberg. He swings away, chops one over to the shortstop, Kendall. Fields on two hops, moving to his left, low throw, picked out by Moretto in time. So Westberg retired on one pitch. It sends Servideo to third base. And the go-ahead run is now 90 feet away for Ian Fair.
Number 37, Ian Fair.
So as a reminder, in the last week of the season, these doubleheaders cannot go longer than 7 innings, win, lose, or draw. So this will be the last inning of play. Pitch to Fair, line drive on a hop, fielded by the shortstop, Kendall on the backhand, throws across in time. So Fair squares one up, but it was right at the UCLA Bruin Kendall. Fields on a hop, whips across the diamond, and that ends the frame. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left on. And as we'll go to the bottom of the 7th, Falmouth will have their last licks with Tyler Drabick working his way back out to the mound. It's Hyannis 5, Falmouth 5 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Blake Dunn coming to the plate to lead off the bottom of the 7th. It'll be the last licks for Falmouth here in this double dip. The game 2 taking place at Gov Fuller Field. Tyler Drabick back onto the mound as he's set to face Blake Dunn, the center fielder out of Western Michigan. The righty gets the sign from Hackenberg, fires home. Ground ball hit right to the shortstop, Westberg. Fields on two hops, flings across, one down. So one pitch, one out as Blake Dunn's retired. This will bring up Zach DeLoach. Couple of defensive changes here in the bottom of the 7th for Hyannis. Chad Gassman opting to go with his best possible defense, and that includes the outfield. Bryce Teodosio's taken over in center field. Rowdy Jordan shifted over to right. And Hunter Goodman has exited the ballgame. So Zach DeLoach now the hitter. One new player into the game with 2 defensive changes for Hyannis. As the pitch comes into the lefty, DeLoach misses down. So Teodosio in center. Rowdy Jordan shifts over to right one more time. DeLoach, the hitter's 1 for 3 today. He tripled and scored in his last at bat. 1-0 on the outside corner, strike 1. DeLoach stares down the barrel of his bat just outside the box. Now he works back in. The most dangerous hitter in the Falmouth lineup, standing from the left side. 1-1. Ground ball foul. This is going to get toward the Falmouth dugout and makes the count 1-2. So Hyannis and Falmouth deadlocked here at 5. These two teams have already tied once this season. In fact, that's Falmouth's only draw. A 9-9 tie the first time these two teams squared off this summer. That was right here at Gov Fuller Field. Drabek's 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes the Aggie DeLoach, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th frame. Strikeout number 2 for the righty, Drabek, and he's 1 out away from getting out of this.
Yeah, and Drabek worked in a really good off-speed pitch to keep DeLoach off balance there. And for a guy in DeLoach who had burned Hyannis a couple times earlier this season, they've really kept him off balance at the plate all day long, dating back even to Game 1.
Drabek ready with the first pitch to Cruz. It's a fastball outside. So Hyannis and Falmouth have already tied once this season. Hyannis and Wareham tied in the latter half of the doubleheader yesterday. As Drabek's ready, the 1-0. Fastball outside, 2 balls, no strikes. That score yesterday was a final of 3-3. Couple pinch hit homers off the bench for Hyannis. 2-0. Fastball paints the outside corner. Count moves to 2-1. Cruz is hitless in Game 2. Pair of ground outs and a pop out to short. As Drabek, the right-hander, kicks the leg up. 2-1 comes home. Down low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Troy Clancha waits on deck if we get there. And now the right-hander, Drabek, gets the sign. 3-1 comes home. Fly ball lifted into straightaway center field. Teodosio, a couple steps to his right, comes in, makes the grab, and that'll do it. Another draw here in a doubleheader. Hyannis went 0-1-1 against Wareham yesterday. They go 0-1-1 against Falmouth here today as they tie against these Commodores, with these two teams facing off for the final time this summer.
And these two teams really played to a draw in every sense of the word tonight, Lyle, even across the board. 5 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for both sides. And really, it couldn't have been a more evenly played ball game as the starter, Kyle Murphy, started off on the right foot, fanned the first 3 men he faced. And Logan Hoffman in his own right got bounced around a couple times in the ball game, but was still able to manage 2 2/3 innings before turning it over to the bullpen, who was able to hold down the fort for the rest of the way and keep Hyannis off the board any further. But for an offense that had been struggling to put up 5 runs and to get another point out of this almost feels like a win against a Commodore offense who have been as hot as they were.
If Falmouth had won 12 of their last 13, so Hyannis can't beat the Commodores, but they do draw a tie with them in what was a pretty impressive battle, and maybe nothing more so than the Jackson Olsen 3-run home run. Look, this is a kid that's been really close a couple times this summer. He kind of got the Orleans special when he hit that one to center field back earlier in the season that kind of died out in the 434-foot outfield. He had a couple close ones at YD. We've seen him possess some power in batting practice, and today it translates into the game as he demolishes a 3-run home run out to right center. That was the table setter and the difference maker for Hyannis in this game.
And it really was. It's got to feel good for Olsen to finally get one. As you mentioned, a couple of close calls throughout the season, and that one back in Orleans that you talk about, that would have given Hyannis a lead in that game. Potentially, they could have held on for a win against those Firebirds back then. But for Olsen today, really was the difference maker in the ballgame to preserve this tie, and was part of a 4-run inning that Hyannis put up back in the 3rd. But they were holding off the boards after that. So really, when you look back in hindsight, that home run was a big one.
So Brendan, after a pair of doubleheaders, one yesterday, one today, Hyannis is 0-2-2 in those matchups. They've been given 2 points as they have drawn twice. And now they enter their final 2 games of the season, a home and home with the YD Red Sox. There's still a chance to pick up a win or so here in these final couple games. The Red Sox have a really good offense, but Hyannis' offense is starting to motor up a little bit here too. What's going to be the big key to try to pick up at least a final win, maybe 2 in these final 2 contests?
Well, they say in baseball you live and die by the long ball, and Hyannis has certainly lived at least to pick up a couple points in these last few handful of games. And with Jackson Olsen getting a long ball tonight, Jared DeSantelo, Trevor Haverall getting one. That came, both of them coming yesterday, and Ian Fair even picking one up earlier today. Jordan Westberg, of course, we know what the power he possesses. So for the offense going forward, if they can keep living by that long ball against YD, who does have a really, really short fence out there in center field. Hunter Goodman already has a home run there this season. So, but tomorrow, a game at McKeon Park at home in front of the home crowd for the last time in 2019. Just try and keep the bats going.
So Hyannis is set to return home to McKeon Park for the final time of 2019. They just finished up their final matchup with the Commodores of 2019. 5-5 tie here from Gov Fuller Field. Hyannis moves to 7-32-3 on the summer. Falmouth moves to 25-13-2. Final lines for each team. Hyannis, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They leave a total of 3 left on base, really capitalizing with runners in scoring position. Falmouth, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They leave 5 left on base. Of course, no winner or losing pitcher tonight. The game lasts 2 hours exactly. Started at 6:02, ends at 8:02. As these Harbor Hawks and Commodores draw a deadlock at 5 through 7 frames in the latter half of the doubleheader. For each side, Kyle Murphy, 4 1/3 innings tonight, getting the start for Hyannis. Gave up 3 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He was then followed by Tyler Drabick, and the right-hander out of Kent State had his best outing to date of the summer. He was flat out dominant. Went 2 2/3 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeout. On the Falmouth side, Logan Hoffman, an all-star for the Commodores, making a start, an unfamiliar trait for the right-hander this summer. He went just 2 2/3 innings, had a bit of a rocky outing, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Was then followed by Brad Littleton in relief. He went 2 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks with 2 punch-outs, and Austin Langworthy, the lefty out of Florida, doing exactly what Rigsby Mosley did yesterday. He went 2 innings, 2-way player from Florida, gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, as these teams draw 5-5. Hyannis is back in action tomorrow night. They'll face the YD Red Sox for their final home game of the 2019 summer. That game's set to take place at 6 o'clock from McKeon Park. For one final time, for Brennan Howe, I'm Lyle Goldstein. We thank you so much for tuning in all day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night back from McKeon Park.